So before this, reminds us, and I gotta say something. My grandpa is still in the hospital, and my grandma is at church right now for senior group. But I'm worried about my grandpa right now, so yeah, that's all I gotta say. Oh, and my computer is still not working. So let's read this. SCP-001 Moonrise. There's a dark room under what technically is still Ouroborus. This is basically what I was gonna read before. Something, like going more in depth of the stuff between the 05s or whatever. Like with the test on with SCP-001, like the conversations and stuff. I think this is going in more depth of it. Oh crap. Let me check something real quick. Because I believe wait, did I not read that? Oh wait, no, I was on the Atonement. So yeah. This is... I read all of it, except right here, the footnotes. Okay. So let's read this. There's a dark room under a mountain in the far north, where a man stands pressed against a corner. Something is spinning in the center of that room. Something dark. He screams out his daughter's name before his body is pulled from the wall and into the darkness. There's an explosion and the room collapses. Years earlier, the man lies broken in an alley. The fire escape he had dropped from still ringing from the shack. Inches away from his grasp, a little girl looks at him with horror in her eyes as she is approached by something that moves toward her slowly, one hand outstretched and fluid leaking from its empty eyes. Notifications. The man reaches for the girl, but his body fails him. He is forced to sit and watch as the red corpse of a thing that might have been a man pulled... Why did I say he... Okay. Pulled the little girl into pieces. She screams until the thing removes her face, and then they disappear. It is 1979. A breach of containment occurs involving a low-level reality bender who had killed 3 people in a car prior to be contained by filling their lungs with liquid mercury when they wouldn't let him pass during a traffic jam. The reality bender is shot and killed by Dr. Calvin Desmond, who later investigation would show was defending himself when the entity attacked him. There was, however, no surveillance footage found of the incident, and although the incident took place several floors up, the entity's containment cells seem to have been broken into from the outside. The investigation clears Dr. Desmond, who returns to work A man lingers on the edge of darkness for just a moment. His body is broken and his eyes burn. He sees the face of a little girl, her eyes bleeding and her hair being pulled back into the black maw of a dead-eyed corpse. He screams her name, but he makes no sound. The vision fades, and suddenly he seems infinitely more little girls. Some of them dying, but many more alive, growing old and never having to watch as she is consumed by a monster while her father watches, unable to do anything but weep. Oh, that's sad. No, not that. He sees the monster, the dead-eyed thing, and traces a line in the air between the world he had left and another world, a world of filth and corrosion and death. He sees, only for an instant, the thread between the two, a glowing fiber that draws them together. He looks past that thread and sees others, hundreds of thousands, millions, trillions, a number stretching towards infinity. And he grasps all at once, and then he follows them down, back down towards his world. In his mind's eye, he cuts the threads. Years later, the man sees the threads again, though not now from the eyes of one tumbling into the darkness. Instead, he sees them from the eyes of a serrated knife. In the moment before he is dragged back into a cage, he reaches out and grabs not just the threads, but the spools where those threads originated. With one deft motion, he pulls across them, splitting them and emptying their contents into the void, beating him. I'm so tired right now. The threads disappear. He smiles. Next morning, a note came from within SCP-1322. The translated message was simple. What have you done? The cost of what they had done. But what did they do? Oh, it was that. Okay. The cost of what they had done became evident immediately. 100 sites, large and small, all reported apparent abductions of valuable artifacts and entities. So many reported, in fact, that the Foundation's central computer determined they were experiencing a dominant shift and began making preparations to move the records into deep storage. The order was quickly rescinded by Overwatch Command, who later issued a single line of text as an acknowledgement of what had happened. The Foundation is currently experiencing unexpected shifts in reality. Do not panic. This did little, however, to assuage the fears of those who had watched as living anomalous entities had been crushed under the weight of something inconceivable into infinitesimally, whatever that word is, tiny points before disappearing altogether. Even worse, perhaps, were those who had watched their co-workers experience the same 100 reported site infirmaries around the globe. Dozens were dead, disappeared as if pulled by string into another place. Okay, I'm gonna go get a drink, because I'm thirsty. But I'm still gonna try to read this as I go out there. The news that morning was undisturbed, save for a few stories that might interest someone within sight. There was an explosion at a chemical plant near Istanbul, though investigators to the scene found nothing except a scorched foundation, a few overturned semi-trucks, and a banner that read, Dr. Warnertainment, Inc., 1,000 safe man-hours. Billionaire Skinner Marshall had begun a massive sell-off of his holdings, creating a panic in East Asian money markets. If you're wondering why you heard a door, it's because I have to go to the garage to get a drink. Because my Mountain Dew is in the garage. Because the fridge inside is pretty much full. And if you're new to this channel, just to let you know I love Mountain Dew. If you're not new, then you know I love my Mountain Dew. Fun fact, I was addicted to Mountain Dew at one time. But I'm no longer addicted to it. I still love it. But I used to drink like 3 or 4 Mountain Dews a day. Now I just have 1 a day. That's a bit ironic, isn't it? Chloe, get down. Down, Chloe. Can't be up there. Get up on the couch. On the couch. There you go. There you go. She's not supposed to be on the chairs. But she likes to get on them anyways. Okay, where was I? Billionaire Skittle and Skitter Marshall had begun a massive sell-off of his holdings, creating a panic in East Asian money markets. Why did I call him Skittle? Why can't he be called Skittle? The Secretary General of the United Nations had... Wait, what? Where is it? The Secretary General of the United Nations had announced the sudden and tragic death of long-serving Under Secretary General D.C. All Fine, who had perished when her private plane had gone down over the North Atlantic. These and other stories littered local and national news the world over. But aside from a few strange incidents and unusual disappearances, nobody seemed to notice. It is hours earlier. On a table sit 13 people. One of them puts her head in her hand. It still means the end of so many lives. It's too many to even comprehend. A number without limit. Another voice answers. A number without us. There was silence. And then another. We pledged ourselves to maintain normalcy and protect our world, this world. The affairs of other worlds are their own. We would expect any other overseer council to act the same way, in the interests of their universe. All of this, the science, the militarism, everything, all of it is to accomplish a single, unreachable goal. Keep the monsters tucked out of sight. Now we find out, even that might not be enough, that the end of days is coming for us anyway, but we're given an option. If we do nothing, every universe dies screaming. If we take this action, every universe dies screaming but ours. Once it's over, it's over. Everything we've struggled for, everyone who has died to protect our world will be validated. Is the end of our road not worth this? Is protecting ourselves from the doomsday to come not worth this? Okay, I just now realized something. With other universes, wouldn't they be doing the same thing? So wouldn't it basically saving one universe, saving another one? I believe there are parallel universes. There could be, but I could be wrong. 05-9 shakes her head. You're mad. You're all mad. You've lost your minds. You know nothing about this entity. Nothing about what it's capable of or wants it, or what it wants. And you're willing to open the only box we found to put it in? What has happened to you? She stands. You are good men. Intelligent men. Some of the finest men and women I've ever known. But this is madness. I cannot allow it to happen. Even if we manage to somehow survive turning loose an unpredictable monster, remember today as being the day we gave up our mission. We secure and we contain. Those two come first. We've now risked everything for the faintest glimmer of hope that we somehow achieve the last, and I fear it will have damned us. I almost said demanded us. Well, at least I didn't almost say fucked us. No, wait, I just did. She pauses. Why do you trust it, Bramond? After all we've achieved, why do you risk everything on this? There is a rustling sound from a dark corner of the room. 05-1 speaks, but something is strange about his voice. I knew Calvin Desmond years ago, in a different life. He was recruited by the Foundation. He volunteered. He was part of a team contracted by the insurgency to run trials on new technology. Why do I keep saying things wrong? I almost said tic-tac-toe. He was part of a team contracted by the insurgency to run trials on new tic-tac-toe. I wonder how the new tic-tac-toe will turn out. Instead of you have to get 3 in a row, you have to get 500 in a row or whatever. No? What? They're not making a new tic-tac-toe? But this says it is. What, didn't it? Oh, come on. Why didn't you tell me that I said it wrong? I just had to do that. He was part of a team contracted by the insurgency to run trials on new technology. They were developing at the time, but he had a young daughter that was killed by SCP-006 when it breached containment during transit in 1975, years before we had developed functional containment procedures for it. And after that, he sought us out. He never said much about it, but you could tell. If that's him in there, and he had found a way to remove every trace of the anomalous from our universe, no matter the cost, he would do it. I know he would do it. I can hear it in his voice. Yeah, this is more in depth on, I forgot his name. But it's more in depth on SCP-001. I forgot what it was. Ouroborus something. -9 spits. In another life, you might have been reasonable. This is unacceptable. The rustling stops. From that dark corner, a man slumps forwards onto the ground. His throat has been slit. He is 05-1. The rest of them react with a start. 05-3 turns and draws his weapon. Who? He says, but is cut off when another figure emerges from the shadow. It is 05-1. He is shaking and his face is streaked with tears. One arm appears to have been crushed. I'm sorry, the man says, his voice now trembling. I'm sorry, it said that if I came here and I told you, it would spare my life. It would spare. A gunshot rings out across the chamber. Smoke flows from the barrel of a gun in 05-3's hand. Inches from 05-1's face, a bullet hangs in the air. The space around it appears strangely distorted. In seconds, it collapses into a point and disappears. 05-1 turns towards 05-3, his face warped with fear. Don't you see? His words are panicked. Don't you get it? You didn't contain him. You just put off the inevitable. He told me that my world would be spared, that I would be spared if I could just convince. Liar, 05-9 shouts across the room, and she too pulls a gun. Another shot rings out, and she slumps over her desk, clutching her throat. 05-3 is pointing his gun at her, but he's staring at 05-1. His eyes are wide. Do you trust him? Whoa, they're turning against each other. 5-1 smiles, but behind the smile is terror. No, he will stop at nothing to achieve what he wants. He has power unlike I've ever witnessed, but he is still a person. There's something inside him that still thinks. He said he promised that he would spare us. He swallows hard. I don't want to die. 05-1 turns back towards the rest of them. I promised a vote. The utilization of the SCP-001 entity to stave off the end of the world. All in favor? There is silence for a moment. Then together, 8 voices speak together. Aye. 05-1 nods. Those opposed? 4 voices, including one choking through blood, to do so, answer together. Nay. I think it's... nay. Yeah. 05-3 stands. He paces around the chamber, stopping at 3 desks. Every time he stops, there is a gunshot. 3 bodies hit the ground. He pauses at a fourth, where 05-9 sits leaning against his chair, her chair, gun in her hand. For a moment, their eyes lock. Whatever comes next, he says, his voice catching, it's no longer your battle to fight. 05-9 glares at him with purified vehemence. She opens her mouth to speak, and through blood and bile, she says 2 words, spare me. With a deft motion, she pulls her gun under her own chin and squeezes the trigger. The chair behind her is sprayed with gore as her consciousness is snuffed out. 05-3 continues to stand over her, unmoving. Wow. I love SCP stuff because, one is, it's dark. Where was I? Where was I? Oh, there it is. 05-1 speaks. 05-13 abstains. The measure passes. The rest of them stand and leave the room. 05-1 is second to last, and 05-3 lingers a moment longer. 5 bodies stand in silent testament to their opposition. The room goes dark. Gun smoke hangs in the air. It is after 05-3 stands before the shattered glass of an observation deck. Below him is a machine furiously humming as it spins and twists around a nebulous cloud of darkness. Behind him is a smear of blood where 05-1 had been, moments before he was no longer. The structure around him creaks and groans, and small rivulets of water from the river above them now leak through the walls. Without looking away, he speaks. Nigzack. It still sounds like I'm saying nutsack. Nigzack, can you hear me? A low electronic voice responds, yes. You aren't fitted with any sort of personality module, are you? I am not. He sighs. The rest of the staff had been evacuated. He was the only one left. The rest of the overseers had fled, burying themselves underground or fleeing through extra-dimensional portals, or, in at least one case, killing themselves. Company would have been nice. That's SCP for you. How long can we maintain containment of SCP-001, given our current conditions? NetZac responds immediately. Given current conditions, I will be able to maintain stability of the Pietry cow. Pietry cow? I want a Pietry cow. Wonder what it tastes like. The Pietry cow contained everything for 119 days, 6 hours, and 47 minutes. Afterwards, the array will no longer have the structural integrity necessary to contain SCP-001. 5-3 rubs his forehead. Given the information you've gathered about SCP-001, what do you think the odds are that our backup containment protocols will be able to neutralize SCP-001? NetZac pauses. Given information gathered during containment of SCP-001, it is a certainty that SCP-001 will be undeterred by current failsafes. Full of good news today, NetZac. Full of good news today, NetZac 05-3 sits down against the railing. You need to give me something here. I'm able to provide. I am unable to provide a sufficiency psychology useful response. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, yeah, I'm back. It was just, advertisement. I don't know why they advertise. Sometimes it's a scam. I am unable to provide a sufficient. Okay, yeah, I wrote that. 5-3 waves his hand idly. Yes, I know that. But you can problem solve, right? You're a problem-solving robot. What would you do in my shoes? What would I do in your shoes? I would jump off a cliff. Make sure there's mud at the bottom. And a trampoline. But make sure the mud's on the trampoline. But make sure it's a safe like a special trampoline that will bounce you all the way back up, or at least keep you safe. And run in the mud up on the cliff, get them dirty, and then hand them to you. Why? Because I'm cruel that way. NetZac pauses again and does not respond immediately. 05-3 notices the lights dim overhead, and somewhere far away he can hear a low droning noise increase in volume. After a moment it stops. NetZac speaks. All attempts to contain SCP-001 by way of brute force or standard means, I almost said memes, by standard memes, when SCP-001, or when SCP becomes a meme. The Meme-ageddon. The best SCP out there. Wait, is that even an SCP? Wait, hold on. I'm gonna look that up after this video. Like, to see if there's a meme SCP. I know there's SCP memes out there. Like, hold on, let me show you one. Where it files, downloads, right here. It's blinking time. No, 173. No. If if you like SCP, and you, because that's the one most people know about. Because and if you get the joke, basically, as long as you look at him, he won't move. But if you blink, he'll move. Or if you look away. Oh crap, I just exited out of that. Okay, yeah. I was not trying to exit out of that. Oh, I think I remember where it was. Oh, here it is. All attempts to contain SCP-001 by way of brute force or standard means of containment, short of maintaining the Pietri Fountain array, will fail. SCP-001 has, by methods currently unknown to this system, fused itself with the fundamental essence of the makeup of reality. It cannot be harmed or interfered with physically, as any such force that would oppose it requires the same forces to exist. The SCP-001 is now joined to SCP-001. Oh, is now joined to. SCP-001 will breach containment the moment of the Pietri Fountain array fails. Nezak pauses a second time. However, it continues. SCP-001 does appear to be sentient. Sapient creatures likely formed out of the death of Dr. Calvin Desmond during an accident with this facility in 1982. While sapient creatures are often unpredictable and generally unwilling to compromise, diplomacy has historically been an effective means at bridging gaps between creatures with dissimilar goals and motivations. 05-3 barks out a laugh. You want me to talk to it? That's my best option. That's my best option? Yes. 05-3 stands up, still laughing. You are worth the research dollars, Nedzak. Honestly, that comment alone was worth every penny. He grabs his coat. How about this? You watch Dr. Desmond. I'm going to get a drink, and when I come back, I'll go down there and talk to the dark body. It'll almost certainly mean both of our deaths, but it was only a matter of time anyway, wasn't it? He makes a move to the door, but hesitates. You know, I've been thinking about that night in the council chambers. About the ones I put a bullet in. Sort of a turn of fortune for them, wasn't it? He laughs again, more quietly this time. When I joined the Foundation, someone told me to remain an atheist as long as I can, because I'll see so many gods, and they'll all be selling something, but none of them will be the real deal. They said that I'll know the one true God when I see it, and to give that God everything it wants, because that's the only thing that matters. He starts walking again. That night, I saw God that night. Well, that night, God wanted me to shoot 05-9. And by the sound of it, tonight, God wants to talk to me. So hold down the fort, and I'll be back shortly to speak to him. Does that sound alright to you? Nezak groans out a reply. I am unable to provide a sufficiently psychologically useful response. 05-3 smiles as he walks out the door. That's what I thought. So yeah, that was SCP-001. well, more in depth of the part 3 of Ouroborus. Like, more in depth of, I can't remember what part 3 was called. Oh, Atonement. So yeah, get well on, bitches.